Biogenomics, NASDAQ BNGO, worth your investment monies? Let's take a look at what's happening off and on the price chart of BNGO stock. Then offer a risk-adjusted determination aligned with those findings. In this video, we will tell you why BioNano Genomics BNGO stock is a buy now. Number 7. Reasons why BioNano Genomics shares are getting a boost. BioNano Genomics revealed revenue of $3.99 million in the fourth quarter of 2020. That beat our Wall Street's revenue estimate of $3.5 million for the period. It's also worth noting that this is well above the company's revenue of $2.8 million for quarter 4 2019. The company's earnings report also includes highlights for its business in 2021. Among these is its raising $335 million since the start of the year. That comes from 2 underwritten public offerings of BNGO stock, as well as $40 million ATM facility, and the exercising of warrants. BioNano Genomics also highlights that it completed its acquisition of Lineagen, a diagnostic services provider, in the first quarter of the year. BNGO has also made changes to its leadership team in the early months of 2021. That includes appointing Christopher Stewart as its new CFO and Dr. Alka Chobe as its new CMO. Eric Holmlin, PhD, CEO of BioNano Genomics, said the following in the earnings report. 2020 was an important momentum-building year for BioNano and one that allowed us to showcase many of our strengths. Despite 2020's challenges, we executed well on our commercial offering of Saphyr by expanding the number of systems in the field and the number of samples analyzed by our data services lab. Number 6. Why it's worth buying. BioNano Saphyr genome mapping device detects large structural variations and abbreviations in chromosomes, which is something that standard gene sequencers can't do. That enables the Saphyr to reliably diagnose tricky neurodevelopmental disorders caused by structural variations, which the equipment made by other companies can't, a major competitive advantage. Right now, the company's unique hardware is being used to research conditions such as Alzheimer's disease, leukemia, COVID-19, hepatocellular carcinoma, and ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. Management calculates that its total target market clinical and research use genetic testing for structural variations are as large as $3.8 billion annually. That includes one-off sales of hardware plus the consumables required to run each test. Recurring revenue from consumables could eventually amount to as much as $1.5 billion each year. BioNano Genomics' current trailing revenue is a mere $7.3 million, so it has plenty of room to grow. Number 5. Strong market opportunity ahead. According to BNGO's investor presentation from early 2021, the company's market opportunity stands at a baseline of $3.25 billion, with possible outcomes ranging from $2.6 billion on the low end and $3.9 billion on the high end. BNGO's stated goal is to reach yearly distribution of approximately 10,000 Saphyr systems. However, the company failed to specify whether this figure encompassed solely purchases, rentals, or both. Reviewing unbiased sources, Gartner Allied Market Research and Research and Markets in regards to outlook for cytogenetics sub-industry as a whole further confirms BNGO's high growth story. While the industry is expected to grow at rates between +8% to 14% CAGR, BNGO offers both complementary and replacement products and thus can be expected to grow at a higher rate than more mature and stagnant players within the space. It should, however, be noted that the revenue growth story of BNGO has not yet hit its stride. Last year, 2020, was a particularly bad year for BNGO, which realized a YOY decline in revenues of 38.5%. BNGO placed blame on the pandemic, stating that many customers were forced to temporarily shut down their lab operations. Number 4. Source of the pressure. So, what's behind the pressure in BioNano Genomics? Multiple decompressions for growth stock? A rotation out of concept plays and into value stocks whose rubber is already meeting the road? Absolutely. Misplaced company-specific hype and hope for BNGO have also played in hand. Much of this 2021's out-of-gate tier higher was on the back of BioNano's optical genome mapping OGM system, known as Sapphire. The technology fills a critical gap between long and short read sequencing technologies and a certain asset for uncovering structural variants within genes. In January, Sapphire was widely introduced to the healthcare community as part of a well-received industry symposium hosted by BioNano, and for more than a couple good reasons too. In layman's terms, Sapphire's real-world applications include more targeted cancer treatments and prenatal screening. Number 3. The recent pullback in BioNano Genomics is a major buying opportunity. Shares of life sciences company BioNano Genomics, NASDAQ BNGO, have dropped more than 20% in the past month. The development is puzzling considering how it upturned 4 consecutive quarters of revenue slump with its latest earnings results. Regardless, the pullback presents an excellent opportunity to buy BNGO stock at a discount. BioNano recently reported its fourth quarter results, in which it posted a massive 43% increase year over year in revenues to $4 million. Additionally, it also beat consensus revenue estimates of $3.5 million. Product revenue was up 4% to $2.7 million, and service revenues grew handsomely to $1.1 million. However, the growth in revenues wasn't enough to turn a profit, as it posted a hefty $11.7 million loss. Net loss exceeded analyst estimates of $7.9 million. Quarterly expenses rose 38.2% on a year-over-year basis to $12.3 million, mainly due to salary expenses. Perhaps the most encouraging element of its financials is its strong balance sheet position. It ended 2020 with $38.4 million in cash and equivalents, compared to $17.3 million in 2019. Number 2. The future. So far, Sapphire has shown a lot of promise in increasing throughputs, providing ease of use, and dropping the price per sample. Several studies were released in the third quarter last year, comparing the system with different cytogenetic methods. The results have shown that Sapphire has similar efficacy in less time and at a lower cost. Additionally, recent studies allude to the effectiveness of the platform in areas such as coronavirus and oncology. There's a lot on BioNano's plate this year, which will solidify its bull case. It expects to obtain accreditation for its Sapphire-based laboratory test for acute lymphocystic leukemia, a facioscapulohumeral muscular dystrophy for some European markets. Additionally, it plans to expand its pediatric assays in the third quarter this year. Moreover, it also expects to validate 3 new laboratory-developed tests with billing codes in the fourth quarter. Hence, if everything is in line, it should have a much larger installed base by this year's conclusion. Number 1. The verdict. Shares of BNGO have rallied significantly after news in late 2020 that there was an increasing awareness of BNGO's products, as well as an equity raise that calmed concerns surrounding the company's cash burn issues. A recent correction, likely the result of short-term investors taking profits off the board, issued within the semiconductor supply chain and an overall market-wide rotation from growth to value stocks, has created an interesting entry point for long-minded investors with BNGO on their watch lists. Shares offer an attractive double-digit return potential alongside a more than reasonable risk-reward ratio for those long-term, private equity-minded individuals looking to obtain exposure to the high-growth genomics niche. While the shares are certain to ebb and flow in the short to midterm, BNGO seems to have a more promising future than its current valuation would indicate. BioNano is a pioneer in a relatively new market, and at least for the time being faces no direct competition for its primary product. Plus, its machines could save a lot of work for resource-strapped healthcare systems. This all points to a company with a compelling growth story to tell, and I think that the stock will do well over the next few years. Nonetheless, I would urge investors to be cautious given that BioNano's revenue streams aren't yet stable. If you're looking for a stalwart stock to protect your portfolio's value, this isn't it. At least not yet. Check back next year to see if the revenue growth is trending in the right direction. However, for aggressive investors seeking big growth potential in the long term, I think this stock is worth picking up right now. BNGO stock has been on a negative streak of late for no particular reason. It's progressing well in the commercialization and expansion of the Sapphire system, which is looking increasingly promising, and its balance sheet is the strongest it has ever been. If anything, I feel that the pullback is an excellent opportunity to invest in the stock, which could prove to be a disruptor in the life sciences sector. The stock is moving within a very wide and horizontal trend, and further movements within this trend can be expected. Given the current horizontal trend, you can expect BioNano Genomics Inc. stock with a 90% probability to be traded between $4.59 and $15.44 at the end of this 3-month period. A break of the horizontal trend is often followed by a large increase in the volume, and stocks seldom manage to go directly from the bottom of a trend up to the roof. Stocks turning up in the middle of a horizontal trend are therefore considered to be potential runners. Do let us know in the comment, what are your thoughts about this stock? Please subscribe to the Stock Advisor. Thanks for watching.